If you like the video, please consider supporting James Corp on Patreon. And hello everyone, and welcome to week 4 of our Mutant Year Zero game, The Path to Eden. We've got a face back. Hooray! He wasn't here last week. Hooray! So he missed it. In fact, we've got 2 faces back because there's that ball behind him as well. Because he loves Tom Hanks.
He's got a little bit of sunshine on him today.
I can't even see him. He's completely washed out. No, but I mean his face is. He must be blind.
Oh yeah. He doesn't see very well.
You gonna put some sun cream on him?
No, I don't have any. I have some aloe vera, but that's pretty much it.
But yeah, we're here with Mutant Year Zero. Hopefully this week will go a bit more smoothly. Because the whole thing, obviously, the difficulty with Mutant Year Zero is I'm not supposed to prep anything. I'm supposed to just like go where the players want to, follow the players' leads. So if the players aren't doing anything, hint, 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 then there's not much I can do. Hint, hint, hint.
Well, okay, that's fair enough, James. But it was the first session where we had that freedom, and we weren't quite sure. We weren't quite sure what to do with it.
Sure, but you know what to
do now. So we have a better idea this week, I hope.
Yeah, you might have to inform Mr. Itchy, Mr. Cole down there. But yeah, we're going to go around the table, get people to introduce themselves. Then we'll kick back to me, and we'll do we'll then do a quick recap of what happened last time to fill in everyone who missed it, and to fill in the missing player who wasn't here. So I'm James Corp. This is Chambers of Roleplay, and I am the host and the games master for this this game that we're running. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to how things play out. Sue.
Yeah, I'm Sue, and I'm playing Catin the Stalker.
Anything else?
Brain's gone completely blank.
You venture out into the outside world a lot.
Yep, I led us on a mission last week, and we didn't die.
Brilliant. She's also got her best friend was murdered, and she's keeping an eye out on the sister of her best friend, who's unfortunately fallen into the worst crowd, the Seven Sisters.
Of the cult, yes.
Pookie.
Hi, I'm Pookie. I'm playing Lenny, who is an enforcer, whose best friend is Zippo, who basically doesn't think very much of Ren, because Ren stood up to him and actually took one of his punches, just the one. Wasn't standing after the second one, and thinks that Catin is wonderful.
Carl.
Yeah, so I am Ren. I am a dog handler. I have a short-legged, feisty friend, little dog friend, called Stimpy. I am around 35. Got a hoodie, scrawny looking. Got a nice rifle that I use to shoot things when I'm not, sending my dog to do my work for me.
Especially when you got more than one bullet.
Yeah, that's true. But then Stimpy is a feisty little fella, so he likes to get in there and have fun. So when I last joined into the fray, Stimpy took a liking to Catin. So any friend of Stimpy is a friend of mine. I think Lenny's a bit unfriendly. Stimpy's also a bit nervous around Bunny. I think it's like the general look, which is big and scary fella. Zippo is not unfriendly. A little bit of a twitchy fella. A little bit of a. So I guess I'm not quite sure yet. I guess.
And last but not least, Effigy.
Hello everyone, my name is Effigy and I'm playing Zippo, Gearhead extraordinaire and part-time explosive maker. Really part-time. What can I say? Friend with Lenny, who Lenny is basically my arms and my shield and everything that needs to be physical. I think Katie is awesome and I want to keep her close, but I know that recent events are explosive events are maybe a bit tarnished our relationship, but I'm assuming it's going to be short term. And regarding Ren, or should I say, I don't really know Ren that well yet, but Stimpy makes me nervous. I don't really like the way Stimpy looks at me. I don't know. I'm more into things like trinkets than living stuff. So that may be the reason.
Okay. Cool. Alright, so last time on Mutant Year Zero, does anyone remember what actually happened?
Yes. We had the ark shook. The ground shook and it made a terrible mess in my otherwise very orderly workshop. And the assumption...
Just think, it's orderly to Zippo, it's not orderly to anyone else.
Yeah, that's the only way it matters. I think the assumption was that for some reason we probably angered our gods. I mean, the Seven Sisters, or so that's what. What's her name? Victoria.
Victoria. Yeah.
Victoria. That's what Victoria, like the self-proclaimed high priestess of the Seven Sisters, told us, and my ear remembered that very well. And I think she was frustrated because we were not working on building the temple fast enough. We were probably more interested in developing our food intake, and those earthly desires were not aligned with her vision of what mattered.
I think she said something. I think she said something along the lines of like, yes, you maybe wanted to sustain your physical form, but you're not concentrating on sustaining your spiritual
spirit
form.
or your soul. Yes, whatever that is. So after this weird event, I think we decided Sue took us on an expedition, or we kind of decided to move west and see what was out there.
He was actually heading to the actual place where you was heading to. Your goal was to head to this
Alexandra's Tower.
Alexandra's Tower, yeah.
Yeah. But on our way there, I think it was on the map. I think it was on the X, just west of where we are.
That's as far as we got.
I think that's as far as we got. We started exploring a bit, and we stumbled upon an injured person.
Yeah, you found a road. You found a road tunnel that leads through most of the zone, and it was mostly like because it was quite a swampy area. Was it swampy or was it?
Yeah.
Was it swamp or was it marshes? I can't remember if it was swamp or marshes.
I think you said swamp.
What's the difference between
there was water?
Is there much difference between a swamp and a marsh?
I'm not sure we'd know
Yes.
that. Oh, I've written
Oh.
marsh.
Okay, thanks, Spooky. That was that was very clear. There probably is, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I think it was marshy, and then there was a tunnel, a road tunnel. It obviously went underground, and it was kind of flooded because of the marshy lands around it. Yeah, and it had like rusted cars all down it and vehicles.
And so we stumbled upon. Oh, this person came out of the tunnel, if I recall correctly.
She was
Injured.
well, when you went into the tunnel to have a look, is when you saw her splosh. Well, I think Katin saw her splashing around like she was injured, and she appeared injured.
Yeah. We actually healed her very properly and very efficiently, if I recall. And we went for exploring a bit down that tunnel, what could have maybe caused her so much trouble. And then we quickly decided that the best path forward was to retreat to the Ark with our guest, basically, that we brought back in the Ark. And we don't really know who she is. There are some talk that she's not like us, like she's a pure human, whatever that means, not a mutant. And
Very
maybe... Say again?
Very clean.
Yes, very clean. She doesn't smell. And there were talk that she might even be acquainted with the real sisters, which, wow. I mean, for Victoria, that's like the best news of the year. And that's, I believe, where we're at.
That is where we're at. Yes, brilliant.
It's still in the tunnel.
No,
No. We're back at the Ark. We
Okay.
brought this person back at the Ark, to the surprise of almost everyone around us, because that's the first non-Ark people that they've seen, kinda. And yeah, so we're back at the Ark.
Okay, so the first thing we do is we hold an assembly. So you was not here last week, Cole. I'm saying last week, but it was the week before. But yeah, basically, beginning of every game, as long as you guys are in the Ark, we hold an assembly. I think, is that right?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh yes, yeah. If you're not in the Ark at the time, then I skip that
Sure.
that sort of thing. So yeah. So it says the players should hold an assembly. That means you step out of your characters for a short period, and instead represent the entire people of the community of the Ark. Consider as players, not as PCs, what projects you think the people should undertake and the assembly follows these simple steps. Discuss which projects you think the people should undertake at this time. Remember that you can't start a project if the Ark dev rating is too low. You cannot choose a project that's been completed before, with some exceptions. If one or more projects are already underway, you don't need to start a new one. After a few minutes of deliberation, each player can nominate a project that he thinks should be undertaken by the people. The players don't need to agree on one project, but as we will see, projects will be completed much faster if they do. Every player that has chosen a project notes it down on the Ark map and on the Ark sheet. We haven't got an Ark map yet, but
We got the sheet.
I got an email saying stuff, but there's nothing yet. I don't know how long it's going to take. I did ask for like a rough estimate on how long something would take, but I haven't had any information back about that. So the Ark assembles in the assembly court.
Right. So maybe as a quick recap, and I don't know if you brought the Seven Sister sheet, but there were 3 projects from last time that were either underway or being considered. The first one was the cropland, so clearing the ground above us and preparing it and transforming that a patch of land so that we could grow various type of crops. Some people already participated in moving that project forward, like Lenny, who injured his back in the process because I didn't read the manual properly.
Health and safety manual on lifting.
Another proposal from boss Johamed was to actually prepare a slave market in the Ark. I think this proposal is not 100% well received, but but it was a proposal from the last assembly. And finally, the temple. The temple, building the temple for the Seven Sisters, and following what happened, the earthquake or the whatever it is, the ground shaking moment, and the fact that we encountered this weird person that some of our spiritual leader consider she may be a divine representation of the sisters. I feel there might be an urge to actually finish that temple and move forward on that.
Yeah, who's the NPC? Who's the NPC I had last time? Was it Naggy Maggie? Something like that.
Maggie, Maggie.
Scraggy Maggie. It's all written on. It's written on there, by the way. If you look at the sheet,
Sorry.
it's written on the sheet.
Okay. Scraggy Maggie will pipe up and say, "Surely, the arrival of this woman from outside is a sign we should build the temple."
I don't know if that makes sense to me, but I guess it does to a lot of the people in the Ark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess there's quite a lot of cheering, and obviously
Yeah.
Victoria looks awfully smug with herself as per
Oh
usual.
yeah, oh yeah, she's so happy. We may actually be hearing some voices that we may start to hear more voices about, yeah, we should really focus on the temple and maybe forget this slave thing altogether.
Yeah, I mean, for example, Lenny would stand up and say, "What do we need a slave temple, for a slave market for? We can do the work."
He'll be, and obviously, Boss Johanna, is that how I pronounce his name?
Johamed.
Johamed.
Is like, well, we could sell, we could set up with a slave market, we can like buy and sell slaves. If we find, like, for example, the women out there might be more of them, and we might be able to use them as slave labour.
We might, but we don't know
sounds
what
like
she is.
heresy.
We don't know what she is and who she is, and surely that could be against the tenets of the Seven Sisters to enslave her.
Well, I don't know, because according to the holy texts,
In what book? Huh?
Which
In
book?
what
Oh, yeah, which
Well,
book?
is it which book?
Which of the books have we identified so far?
the sundering of the of the Shire. Do you not remember that part of the holy text?
Oh, yes. Hold on. No, that can't apply. She's too tall.
Yeah, she's definitely an elf.
Yeah,
Well, then we
she's too tall.
Elves were never slaves.
Yep, elves were never slaves.
Well then, if we find any little folks, then maybe they could become the slaves.
We did find some little folks back on that island.
Very good point.
But then we worked with them to get water.
Yeah.
That would be kind of unwise, unless we took everyone there. But then they wouldn't be able to manage that water place for us. How about a bathhouse?
For what?
For cleaning,
Recreation.
recreation.
I think
Is a bathhouse is it a project?
I don't know if it's a product. I just want a bathhouse.
I might change the way I've done this. So rather than doing it as like one
Okay,
list,
there we go.
I might
This
change.
product.
I might change it into like. I don't know. I'm open to suggestions.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, I mean, obviously, the other thing I know that Lenny will be in favour of the completing the temple, but essentially he in favour of completing the temple. Wants to create the fields in support of Boss Marlot, who handles food distribution.
Mm-hmm.
And doesn't want a slave market because that's what Boss Jahamid wants.
I think the tempo is not overly. It doesn't take too long in terms of. It's already been initiated.
Okay,
Yeah.
so everyone, so who's in favour of scrapping the slave market? Raise your hands right now.
As a player, yeah. I mean, as a character, even. I don't know what's the. I'm not completely clear on what's the tendency within
So
the arc.
you're currently all playing the arc, okay? So you're
Okay.
voting on the arc. So if you think the arc, the general secession of the arc would be scrap the slave market, then raise your hands.
Yeah.
If you don't, then don't raise your arms.
The whole arm. Yes, but I think there's this clearly this overwhelming sense of why should we invest and spend resources into that in this time of need and in this time of where we need to complete the temple and we have more important things to do for our own survival. But there's probably a small fraction of people in the arc, the one that are still very loyal to Johamed, that are like
basically
not happy with that.
Yeah,
find the little people and enslave them.
But you got to remember though that if it's a small minority, you got to remember you're playing the majority of the arc.
Yeah.
So,
Obviously understood.
So if you think the majority would say, yeah, let's not do it, then
Yes.
I mean that opinion could change over time.
No,
right?
completely. It's just for us to make a note that there's still probably a small fraction of assholes in the arc.
Well,
basically.
Jihadists.
No. Yes, probably. But yeah, I would
Or
tend to believe
Mohammedans.
as a whole, the slave market is no longer a priority and is probably be removed from the current priorities. Yes.
I'm just going to put that up I'm just going to throw up the experience stuff so that Cole can just have a look through it and just see how he can get all the experience that he needs. Oh, in fact, that's for everyone actually. Just as a reminder of if you get yeses on those, you get experience for everything.
Yeah.
So
So for example, the other point is if you check, you've got relationships with the bosses in the arc, and generally that at this point that will be what we're generating. What sort of things you want to do. So Lenny, for example.
So has everyone? Sorry, can we just actually finish Pookie? Sorry.
Yeah. So what we're saying, Lenny's example, he doesn't like Boss Jahamid. Okay. So he's opposed to anything he does. Whereas he does like Boss Marlot, the bureaucrat, so he thinks that, he handles all the food distribution, so if we have a field, he's more important.
Just so you know, Pookie, voting against Boss Jahamid's slave market isn't going to be adding to that whole...
Okay, no, but I would be spreading, I mean, what Lenny would be doing would be basically whispering against it.
Okay, cool. We'll
I mean,
he
would be. It's not just a voting; it's a case of he would be sort of like saying, "No, don't vote for that. Vote for this."
All right. Just as a reminder to all for everyone, that is sort of the goal of what things you want to achieve in this game.
So the person I hate isn't currently stated anywhere, so I'm not sure if I possibly need to modify.
Do you hate?
He's called the Fixer Sixter.
Is he one listed on the?
He's not one of the boss, but that's fine. I mean, you can still create an event or decide that you do something about it.
Okay.
I'm in the same situation. The person I ate is another gearhead. He's not a boss, but I need to think of how I can include him.
I mean, all of this stuff that's on your character sheet about like these people you hate, it's all down for you to create. Like, so when we finish this assembly, and I go, okay, what do you want to do, guys? One of you can go, well, first I want to like work on, whatever, I want to do a day's work to like generate whatever points to like start fixing up the thingy. And then you can be like, but then I want to go find what's his face and call him a dickhead or something. Do you know what I mean? And then we'll have a little scene of like you calling him a dickhead and the outcome of that. If you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to ask this once more to clarify. I want you to raise your hands if you agree that the slave market has been abandoned.
Right, so just being 3/4, I'll not put up my hand and I'll just represent the minority.
Because if you don't all agree to it, it doesn't disappear.
I don't know how slave trade normally works in here, so I think all of us were unanimous before. And then you kept like, are we sure? Are we sure? Are we sure? Are we sure? So yeah.
I think that's just James just checking rather than naysaying this.
Yeah, I'm just double checking before I like wipe it out.
Well,
Okay, all right. So that is the slave market removed. Now,
That might increase tension. Yeah.
Does anyone else have a project that they think might be good to like start, or do you want to just stick with the 2 projects that you've got right now?
Stick with the 2.
Okay.
we'll still have other ones so we can potentially suggest at this point.
Yeah, I think I would tend to believe that the boss Jarila, the hard worker, is pushing also for us to create a sundial, because it's gonna help people know when to go to work.
Hang on.
And be more efficient.
Hang on. There's a flaw with a sundial.
Say again.
There's a flaw with the idea of a sundial.
We live underground.
That's the big flaw.
No, but we have a lot of
Overground.
land. We have a lot of overground as well. And I think we probably have the sundial keeper, which would be a new occupation. We will, every hour that matters, would signal for the temple or for the workers that it's time to do whatever they're supposed to be doing.
The point is that we have the underground, then we've got the overground, and then during the actual during the adventure we go wombling free.
Okay, Lenny just explodes. He just explodes in a fiery explosion. Sundial. Okay, you've got enough culture for it. Okay, workers point is 1 times the number of PCs. Okay, all right, I'll add that then. So sundial. And who suggested that?
I think it's Jarila, the hard worker. Because she saw last time that people were just going to the cropland whenever they felt like it and not following the proper safety instructions and leaving work whenever they pleased. So she's like, we need a bit more order. And a sundial is the beginning of order.
Okay, right, that's been
Or
added
something
then.
like that.
All right, a sundial. Okay. if that's what everyone, if that's like the end of the assembly, then that is the end of the assembly. So, right. So one project's been scrapped. Everyone's sort of like gone, no, let's not do the slave market. Obviously, there's some voices that are like, who are definitely like support Joe they're like not happy at all that that his idea is being thrown out of the entire being thrown away by the people. There might be issues later on because of that, but who knows? But Boss Jarilla has basically said we need to keep time, especially during the day. So let's measure time with a sundial. I read about it in a magazine. All we need is a stick and a flat disc, and the sun. And someone's like, but we live underground. And then he's like, well, we'll put it on top, right? And we'll have a sundial keeper who will keep the time for us, and he will come down, and he will go up when it's dawn and read the time and come down and tell us what time it is.
What was the magazine Gardener's World?
Yes, it was in the box of holy texts. Or the box of holy things. Sorry, it wouldn't be the box of holy texts. It's the box of holy things.
Yeah, it's not long enough. Or
it's called
it's not a book.
The box of lost prophets. Oh my god, where am I going with this?
We don't know. We don't know yet. We're just rolling with the flow.
Yeah, that is where.
Sorry, shouldn't it be shouldn't that be the box of lost prophecies?
No, it's just prophets.
Well, no, it wouldn't be prophets because that's persons. Prophecies are the things.
It's a box full of people.
Sure. Whatever. Yeah, lost prophets.
Book,
No.
Lost prophecies box.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's quite a big box as well. That's where that's where the cube of many cubes came from. The thing that fell off.
The cube of many possibilities. Yes. Yes. Okay. So do we have to decide now what project we want to participate in?
Well, no. So the way it works now is that you're now free to do whatever you like as characters. So I'll go around the table and we'll do the same thing. So we'll start with Katin. Katin, what would you like to do?
Well, being incredibly embarrassed about having got lost up there last time, I'm going to head up onto the surface and try and do some better work on the croplands this time.
Okay, cool. So you can either roll Endure or Know the Zone.
I shall do Know the Zone because I'm a lot better at that, in theory.
What does your compass do?
Wouldn't that compass be really useful in helping set up a sundial?
It might be, yeah.
Oh! I
What?
didn't mean to do that.
What have you done?
No.
Trying to fiddle my bow.
No, I was not trying. I was just, poking around.
The compass gives you a bonus on find the path, but
Okay,
makes sense you could use it for the sundial as well. But,
potentially.
I'm doing Know the Zone on the croplands.
Okay. So I didn't know if it was gonna. I didn't know if it gave you any bonuses to know the zone.
No, it doesn't.
2 successes.
That's more like it. I feel significantly less embarrassed.
Did you want to push though?
No, I don't.
Okay. All right. Okay. You actually make quite a considerable amount. You clear quite a considerable amount of rubble from the ruined buildings above the ground. In fact, so quite. You're almost, in fact, you're not nearly done, but you definitely can tell that you've made with that you've made a significant dent on what needs to be done.
Good news. One day we'll be able to eat something other than mushrooms.
Yeah.
And sourdough starters.
Lenny, what do you want to do?
Well, I'm going to come up and help. Oh, because it's catting. Because I'm going to come up and work alongside her in clearing the crops. What will be the new crop fields?
Okay, so you can either roll endure or know the zone.
Oh, it's going to be endure. So
Watch your back.
yeah. So
Yeah, someone brings up the holy texts of health and safety.
yeah.
To go right. Lenny, make sure you bend at the knees.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm going to give you +1. Ah, bollocks. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm still going to give you +1. So you
Okay.
can just roll one extra d6.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know what you've done. Pookie, just roll a
Check
d6.
the roller. Yeah.
Just
on the left.
just roll a 1d6, and if you get a 6, then that's a success. If you don't get anything,
Oh, I'm just looking for. No. Okay, I'm just looking for a D6. Where's the D6 thing?
Yeah, don't use the sheet. You go to the
Oh yes, sorry.
toolbar on the left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
There you go.
So that is 2 successes.
Oh my
Now-
word.
Now, yes, that is 2 successes in total. Now, did you want to push? Because if you do push, you will take some damage because you also rolled a 1 on there. If you see,
I'm going to push
okay.
because I think maybe we might get this finished.
Holy shit. Okay, that's what? So that's gone. That's 3. That's 4 successes.
Four
Successes. So that goes to. Okay, so you have now managed pretty much with Katin and Lenin basically working together. Shifting the rubble. You've actually cleared nearly all the rubble from the space that has been designated as the crop. You're over halfway in completing the crop field or the crop land.
Yeah, I think Victoria is pissed to see that the amount of effort people put in the cropland could have already finished the temple.
Oh, she probably is pissed. She probably is pissed. All right, Ren.
Yeah.
Stimpy needs to go to the bathroom, so I want to find Fixer Sixter, his place where he lives, and have him do his business, preferably in his shoes, if I can find some shoes.
He's cut. Yeah.
Someone from the crop land would be like, that'd be good, like fertilizer. Don't poo in some shoes. But anyway,
Well, up to Fixer Sixter to see if he wants to, use the remains to put in the crop field.
So what does his place look like?
He lives close to the surface, although the quarters or the Seven Sisters place is underground. He lives close to the surface in an old 1-story, pretty rundown place. He doesn't have much security, so it shouldn't be too difficult for me to be able to let.
So just to let you know how this is all set up, right? So it's all like ramshackle like buildings. So they're all like they're all like they're probably like lean-tos, and they're probably made out of whatever materials that they could find to build like small like
shacks.
maybe small little shacks. Most of them probably one
At
room
best.
one room like one room apartments. Shacks.
Oh,
and like I reckon the majority of it is built across the tracks down in the actual state, in the actual station part that lead to the leading to the. Until we get a map, I'm just having to guess at the moment, but
yeah, probably only the bosses have like requisitioned some of the old offices around the station as part of their proper housing, but the pleb just build shacks on the tracks or use some alcoves.
There's also the there's also a what's it called? What was it? It's not a sleeper station. It's where the trains park, to go to sleep. Oh my god, what am I talking about?
Sidings.
So yeah, there's like an entire depot. There's an entire depot really close to Seven Sisters. That's also hopefully it's underground. We'll see. But yeah, so I imagine there's loads of shacks all sort of built around. Think have you ever played Fallout?
Yeah, long ago. But yeah, whenever I'm thinking about his place, I imagine something closer to the surface. But obviously, if it's underground, and if everyone else lives underground, who is not a boss.
Well, there would still be people that live on the different on the corridors, the way down to the actual main station. There would be people that would perhaps still build a little shack somewhere there. But it'd probably be less wide and more length, sort of longer than width. Does that make any sense? Because I've never been to Seven Sisters. If there was,
you would imagine people are just have the little spots next to each other along the hallways and stuff underneath. Look, I just, in terms of his domicile, he's a fixer, so he's got tons of tools. Sixter. As opposed to myself, I have a pretty simple place. I've only just joined forces relatively recently, so I'm just kind of staying wherever me and Stimpy happens to be around. But I sincerely hate this Sixter fella. I happen to know where he lives, and he has a small little corner where he keeps his tools and things, and
that's a gearhead rather than a fixer. Is he a gearhead? Is he a gearhead?
It's fixer. It says fixer.
Okay, a fixer is someone who arranges deals and that sort of thing.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
He fixes deals. Whereas Zippo's a gearhead.
All right. So Zippo's. Well, I guess he's got tons of stuff in terms of his deal makings and stuff like that. So
probably.
Yeah, in any event, I'm just trying to find his shoes, or I'm trying to get Stimpy to find his shoes. Fingers crossed he's not going to be there, but yeah, I tried to sneak in to get him to relieve himself in the shoes.
He isn't there, but his door is locked.
Is there a window or something like that?
There would probably be no window.
No small hole or anything that I can get Stimpy to jump in through or shimmy his way into it.
You might be able if it's a shack, you might just be able to lift off a plank or whatever and maybe, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know how solid the shack is.
Looking at it, considering it's a shack, it's not going to be reinforced by a lot of things. So I'm thinking maybe he has an air hole that he, lets the air out. Imagining a full-grown person will not be able to get through, but a short-legged dog might be able to squeeze through. I'm looking around. I'm looking around for some way to be able to.
Okay. Give us a scout roll.
Scout roll. Okay, let's see here. I've been a little bit.
Yeah, remember use the macro.
Yeah. So skill would be. Let's see here, scout. So it's just 1. Level 1. Is that because I have 1 plus attribute 3, so is it 4 first?
Hey. So you put the skill dice in. So whatever the skill says. So if you look at the skill list, it should say. So what's your scout skill level?
1.
Okay, put 1 in. Then click submit.
And then just base is 3.
Base will be the attribute. So scout uses wits. What's your wits?
Yeah, 3.
Okay, put 3 in.
Yeah.
Do you have any
And
gear
no-
that? Do you have any
I
gear
don't-
that can add to it?
Unless you consider Stimpy gear, but no.
What does Stimpy do for you?
Well, he's not going to be actually able, in terms of looking out, he's a dog, he can sniff around. And he can be like an extra set of eyes. I obviously have my eyes, but he has his nose and his sense. He can look around. But I wouldn't consider him as specifically as gear.
Sure, I'll give you a +1.
And the skill is scouts. There we go.
Okay, so with 1 success, yes, you find a success. You do find a small entry hole that you can put that Stimpy can fall through.
I go for it.
There's there should be like a wire thing over it to stop things from getting in, but when you push it, it's loose. It like flops up. It's like almost like a cat
so
flap.
this chicken wire or similar to chicken wire or something like that. I try and I lift it up and then I let Stimpy in. It's like, okay, get in there. You know what to do. Do your business. If you find his shoes, do them in there. If
Okay.
not, just relieve yourself.
Okay, so the dog like runs around for a bit. He doesn't find. It's a he or is it a she?
It's he.
Yeah, so he runs around for a bit. There aren't any shoes. He's not. The guy's not here. So he's and everyone's really only got probably 1 pair of shoes. If they're lucky. So he basically ends up soiling in the bed,
Perfect.
and he comes
Perfect.
back. He comes back, all happy.
Wagging his tail, super happy. Good doggy.
Relieved.
Good doggy. And then I head over to try and help out the others with the crops area.
Okay. Right, so this is where you need to tell me what you're going to do. So what skill are you going to use? Are you going to use endure or know the zone?
Well, I would think we had a pretty good roll on Know the Zone. So endure was what Lenny.
Yeah, Lenny really put his back into it and made some progress.
Well, in terms of knowing the zone, in terms of exploring more about how to make use of this area.
Basically, Ren, you want to basically pick the best skill that you have for the role.
And it has to be in suitable with the actual.
So it has to be either endure or know the zone. So out of them two, you want to pick the best skill you've got.
They're on par. They're both just on 3 anyway. So I do want to know the zone because I'm thinking if there's any better way or learning how to.
Okay, well then,
make use of
so
that.
what you want to do then next is actually look at your attribute then. So which is the next height? So what's your highest attribute? If they're both on par, if they're both 3.
Yeah, they're both on level 0 and both of them are on attribute 3.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. That means you might not be very helpful.
I can try.
Okay. So yeah, so you're rolling, so that you got no skill, So put 0 in the skill section.
That's it. And
then in the attribute, it's going to be 3.
Yeah.
You've got no gear to help you.
No.
Yeah. Difficult to push.
Difficult to push this one. I'm not going to try and push this.
Okay. Alright. Well, luckily you don't choose to, like, fall into Lenny's pit traps. You probably could have picked something else. You could have probably done the temple, which is endure or manipulate, or you could have done the sundial, which is comprehend. You could have done something that would have been more useful for your skill level, or your skills that you have. I don't know what skills you've got, whether any of them fall into your character thing, but that is your day of work. You pretty much spend most of the time just going blah, 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 talking at Katin and Lenny as they do all the work, basically.
Well, Katin will appreciate the company.
Yeah.
And that's
Then you
why
will think about punching him to shut him up again.
trying to socialize and helping out. Not you know. Trying to be
Okay.
friendly.
Zippo?
So, Zippo was probably contemplating the idea of working on the sundial because it's something he understands perfectly, and that's something that Boss Jarila, who he respects a lot, pushed for. But then he met the gaze of Boss Victoria, and I understood at that moment that there was only one thing I could be doing today, and it was working on the temple.
Okay. Alright, so that's
Because
it.
my ear still remembers the pain and the humiliation.
Yes,
So,
that is. Yeah, she
so I'm
fucking,
basically working on the
she
temple.
chews your ear off, basically.
Yeah.
Well, I see
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
the only.
she-
I see it again. You're the only one that's bothered with the temple. You know, the Seven Sisters will probably be angered again. So yeah, it's either
whatever you say. And I'm doing my best, even though that's not my field of expertise, but I'm doing my best with the temple thing. So
In-
temple is what, endure or manipulate?
Yep.
Yeah, I kind of suck at both. Is there just like a quick rule thing? Is there is there more value to take a role where you have a level of skill, or not? Because I have 3 dice basically, but one I have 2 + 1, and the other I have 3 and 0. Is there a reason why I would pick one versus the other, like a mechanical reason?
Yeah, I think because on skill, if you do, I think skill dice don't have if you roll a 1 on a skill dice, I don't think you get the.
Oh, you don't have the
radiation
negative.
symbol.
You don't have the injury.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. So I'm gonna enjoy it then, which is
think.
actually
I'll have to
pretty
pull
much
some
what I'm
dice
doing.
out and look.
All right. So endure. So beam, skill die 1, base 2, and gear 0.
All you need is
And
3 success. If you get 3 successes, by the way,
I'm done.
you
If
can-
I get 3, I'm done, and Victoria can forget about me.
Well, until she decides what's next. Ah.
Or it doesn't happen.
Or do you want to go and push it?
I think I'm going to push it.
Did you want to push?
Out of frustration, I'm going to push it.
Oh!
Okay.
So I get
So,
1
yeah.
damage.
What? Yeah, you're
It's what-
you know
Strength.
you're explaining how you take this like damage, this injury to yourself, not bending.
Probably the same way as Lenny did last time. You know, not abiding by the book of regulation and safety, and trust me that Victoria is reminding me and kind of smirking at me in the process of and what, you know, pointing how useless I am and how I'm not even able
She
to
probably throws the
apply
book
the
at you.
proper
In fact,
safety measures.
that's why you take the damage. She throws the health and safety book at you. That's probably what happens. She goes, "Read this."
Probably, yes. I could see that happen.
It just hits you on the face.
Yeah. So she ruined my day, basically.
And she has no sympathy towards you because you aren't following the health and
I
safety
am following her
guidelines.
rules. No.
It's not her rules. No, she corrects you on that. It's not my rules, Zippo. It is the holy book of health and safety.
Yes, sure. I understand now, Victoria. I understand. Now leave me be, please.
Well, you don't want to be doing it like that. You want to be doing it like this.
Sure, show me. Please, show me.
And with that, I think we will take our first break. So we got quite. So if you think about it, we actually got quite a bit done. We're over halfway with the cropland. We only need 5 more successes, and that is done. The temple needs 3 more successes, and it's done. And then the sundial needs 4 successes.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I do like the fact that Sippo decided to use the game, the narrative in the game of the fact that Victoria basically bullied him to come do the temple, even though he's fucking useless.
Damn Victoria. She probably has a good heart somewhere, but
it's buried quite deep.
Not here.
It's in
Left it
the
behind somewhere.
it's hard to find. Yeah.
She's put it in a box and buried it somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Lenny would have gone and done the temple, but,
That's because of Katin.
yeah, Catherine's outside, so... it's sort of like, she's not leading him astray, but
No.
thoughts of are.
All right. Well, we
Yeah.
will be back in 10 minutes, guys. So don't touch that dial.